Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You're live on radio Apni Awaz. You're listening to Amar Hussain, who is basically, I can describe myself as a community activist and just somebody who volunteers to help others, including on this radio show and our podcast, which is Amar and AJ. Please do search for us. Please do be aware that today we will be starting at 2:25. 2:25. We've got a special guest from all the way from Oxford, Mr. Dawood from MBU. Assalamu alaikum, AJ Saab. Do you have any wise words for us?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think today's topics that are very important for us to understand, and the thinking or what we're trying to change is the thinking of our community which is going wrong. How do we correct that thinking? What is the thought and how do we revive on a thought? Basically, because people are not thinking right, they don't know what to do. They're being pulled and pushed this way and that way. Somebody is telling him this thing, somebody is saying this thing, so there's a lot of confusion. And you've got, and the reason why that is because they've not our institutions, such as the masjids, such as the groups or community as a whole, they're just too busy with life.
Okay, let's keep it as that because we don't wanna, you're gonna start giving all the answers then the Bible. We want people to come back to us 2:25 to be precise. Basically, how can the Muslim community in the UK progress? And I think we'll talk about worldwide and the pro-Islamic narrative. And we'll see if we'll ask searching questions and probably some things that might be uncomfortable, it'll be wishful thinking that we can just easily have a beautiful Islamic state in Saudi Arabia or Iran or anywhere else, but in the UK, how and what's the best way of adapting ourselves to become better and to be better representatives and ambassadors of Islam. We'll keep it as that and hopefully just listen to some qawwali, some beautiful qawwalis. Even I sometimes forget I have a radio show to do. Listen to some of these qualities. Take care.
Ya Mustafa, Ya Mustafa, किस्मत में मेरी किस्मत में मेरी चैन से जीना लिख दे, डूबे ना कभी मेरा सफीना लिख दे, जन्नत तो ठिकाना तो ठिकाना गे मगर दुनिया में कातिब तकदीर मदीना लिख दे, ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम
ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम
हो निगाह करम, हम गरीबों के दिन भी सुबह जाएंगे, ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम हो निगाह करम, ताजदारे हरम हो निगाह करम, हम गरीबों के दिन भी सवर जाएंगे, ताजदारे हरम हो निगाह करम, हम गरीबों के दिन भी सवर जाएंगे, हमें बेकसा हामी बेकसा क्या करेगा जहां आपके दर्श का लिए गए जाएंगे
ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम
हो निगाहे करम हम गरीबों के दिन भी सुबह जाएंगे ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम हो कोई अपना नहीं गम कि मारेगे हम आपके दर पे फरियाद लाएंगे हम आका कोई अपना नहीं कोई अपना नहीं गम मारेगा गम आपके दर पे फरियाद लाए हम मेरे आका हो निगाहे करम करम हो निगाहे करम वरना चौखट पे हम आपका नाम लेके मर जाएंगे
ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम
हो निगाहे करम हम गरीबों के दिन भी सुबह जाएंगे ताजदारे हरम ताजदारे हरम हो खौफ तूफान गए बिजलियों का नहीं सख्त मुश्किल है आका किधर जाए गम मेरे आका खौफ तूफान गए बिजलियों का नहीं सख्त मुश्किल है आका किधर जाए हम मेरे आका आप
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are live on radio Apni Awaaz, and please do check our podcast as well. And we've extended, we're actually not just based in Bradford or Birmingham, we're also based in Halifax, and on air you can hear us worldwide. So we're with our chief, shall we say, reporter, our guest, as always, is Abdul Jabbar, but we've got a special guest all the way from Oxford, Mr. Dawood, who's from MBU. Assalamu alaikum, Dawood Saab.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
MashaAllah. So it's nice to have you. It's the first time I'm meeting you, and it's thanks to Abdul Jabbar that we are having this important meeting, and hopefully we can just help and advise others as best as we possibly can. And obviously you guys, Abdul Jabbar and Dawood, in terms of religious side, I think you are quite highly reputable, and it'll be interesting to hear from you guys what you have to say. I think our main first topic is how can the Muslim community in the UK progress. So Mr. obviously Dawood Saab, as you're our chief guest all the way from Oxford, that's the first question goes to you.
So we'll join with Brother Abdul Jabbar, but let's go for it. Okay, so stuffs are pretty simple. We just got to get back on understanding the definitions, which have been skewed over the years, some intentionally, some unintentionally. The key part is we're not connected with the Quran, and the reason why we're not connected to the Quran, we don't understand the language. We're always reading it through a translation, and nothing really translates correctly. I mean, you probably realize, okay, if I read one verse now, yatlu alayhim ayat, what does that mean to you? Well, if I said you ayat is going to be what? Sorry, brother, what would it be?
Ayat is probably to do with the opposite of being alive.
Okay, ayat. What ayat?
Okay.
Ayat. Yeah, the Quran. If I say ayat, what does that mean to you? First thing. Comes in your head.
I think the complete.
I'll have to give a guess. Basically, it means science.
Science, yes. But also, it doesn't just also translate to science. These are the clues. Yeah, like you said, Abdul Jabbar is right. Science from who? Allah Azza wa Jal. From the Quran. right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I just gave you example, and do you know what ayat is from? That's from ayat Juma. The Juma on Friday that should be firing us up. Should be firing us up every Friday. The Imam Sahib should be leading us right into not battle, but look, subhanAllah, we're in the UK, where the UK writes the policy of most Muslim nations across, well, most nations across the globe where majority Muslims reside. Yes. So the policies are written from the UK, not just the UK, but from Washington and Europe. You may have heard there's even a Swedish Swedish girl who's writing the thesis on Pakistani foreign policy, a 23-year-old. So and this is where the Muslims living in the UK should be filling that in. That was our mission, right? So there was also been I don't know if you've ever noticed. I went to the Jummah last Friday, and it felt like the Imam Sahib was completely reading off the chimes of the state, as in what was it called? Secularism, separation of church and state. But as guess for Muslims is separation of the Quran, the law, Allah's law, deen, from daily life, right? Oh no, just go home, read prayer, be nice to your neighbors. That you have to do that anyway. That's just basic stuff like eating and breathing. What we're here to do is get to work together. And in the Jama'ah, is you're grabbing your brother next to you, so he can stand next to you, so you can help him, and he can help you. Right? So and I, without divulging any further, you asked the question, what can we do from here? And that's literally get our next generation.
For example, the wood stops. For example, the khutbahs, should they be in English?
Khutbahs in English?
Should they be in English or Arabic?
They can be in English, Arabic,
okay.
Swahili. As long as the message, as Brother Abdul Jabbar says, as long as the signs are conveyed, and as long as we connect and we understand what our purpose is.
Right.
I tell you what, Brother Amr, have you ever come across the concept of the covenant?
I think that's probably a Christian term, but no, I haven't. No covenant. Is some kind of agreement.
Yeah, just repeat that for us.
So you know the word shahada?
Shahada, yeah.
Yes. Right? The covenant is the same concept in Islam. The covenant is you and me, the one that you and me made before we were born. Right? This was the covenant that we said, we promised to Allah Azza wa Jal that we were gonna live our lives and rule according to Him. That's why they call it Khalafatul Ard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us that title. Khalafatul Ard, not Khalafatul Dunya. Dunya is the earth that we're in.
Right.
The Ard is the universe.
Right.
So we're representing the universe. That means that one of the miracles that no one really talks about or is not mentioned is Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was able to walk time and space. How? That's what we're supposed to be getting. Those are the signs we're supposed to be deriving from the Quran. Those are the signs that the likes of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu was able to derive how the stars would die. And Ali radiallahu anhu knew and it could explain and even wrote about the cosmos. Right? All through the Quran. Subhanallah.
Yeah.
All through the signs of the Quran and the methodology that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was showing them. So
the woods have
so basically to that trajectory, you take over.
Basically, you were all the way to the cosmos. What I'm trying to ask is, how is that going to help the Muslim community in the UK? So is that the signs that we should see? Is that the reason why you mentioned the cosmos?
Just see, man. You got to act on it. What is the okay? All right. Look. Who's your thought leader?
Thought leader. Currently, I don't have one.
Do we know what thought is?
Like you're speaking English.
Yeah.
So why are we speaking English?
I think because why we speak in English, is it because that's the language that I think we're more fluent in, and our audience,
the world, yes?
Our audience is
Victoria successfully dominated 90% of the globe. That's why you speak in English.
Right.
Right. So the question, the reality is in this European psyche is they look at power as something that corrupts. But we have a word, we have a concept that we always recite. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. What does that mean?
AJ Saab.
There is no power except from Allah.
Exactly. So what does that mean for us? That means whatever power we can accumulate, it all belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to attain power.
Right.
That's why in Surah Al-Araf, let me just bring it. I had it here. Reading it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to come together, gather the strength. Come together and gather the strength. It's a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
So I think
Right.
Dawood Saab, I'll let AJ Saab answer this one question. How can the Muslim community in the UK progress?
So what we're saying is basically the system in the UK and worldwide. We know what system that exists, and there's contradictions in that. We can go on about that, but obviously what I'll do is I'll just because our identity is as a Muslim, that's been corrupted, and there's concepts of nationalism, secularism, human rights, vagera, have come into being. The Islam talks about justice. It also talks about the rights. So the people do not know that our ulama should be telling the people what is the way forward, what is the solution. But obviously, I've been active in the community. I've involved myself in many activities. So the thing is, you have to change the thinking. The thinking requires thought. And if you do not, if you can't think about what's going on, if you can't understand what the reality is, because if you look at the kalma shahadat, if you look at the kalima la ilaha illallah, there is no deity worship or deity worthy of worship except Allah. First is rejecting the idols or the gods or ideas or anything that contradicts the worship of Allah. So you reject that first, and then it says illallah. So it's only except Allah that we worship.
So obviously the oneness of God, of one God, I think that's the main concept of most of the Abrahamic religions, and we see that across the board with the Abrahamic religions. But I think what we need to go back to is how. So when you were referring to the talk, is that to do with the Muslims or the non-Muslims in the UK?
So this goes for everybody, because the thinking is what we have is decline, and we need to revive. So decline, what do I mean by decline? Declined, a person is the one who doesn't have no way of life. He's just doing anything according to his whims and desires. So if he goes into a supermarket, he can buy whatever fancies his whims and desires. So the other idea which we mistakenly think is declined is a secular idea. The secular idea or secular way of life is also a person who follows obviously this is not doing automatic behavior. You're not going to stop and ask this question everywhere.
Brother, let's call it a spade. It's shirk.
It's shirk, yeah.
You're going to have to accept it. It's shirk.
So sorry, the Dawood Saab,
What you possibly do?
what is shirk, Dawood Saab?
Shirk is attributing anything other than attributing anything, your success, whatever, or worshipping anything other than Allah. And what secularism does is it says that you are the God. Astaghfirullah. That's what secularism does. Let's be honest.
So most people who live in a secular society, including Muslim countries around the world, they are committing shirk.
Taghut, man, you must have heard that term.
Say.
You must have heard the term Taghut. Surah Al-Baqarah,
Taghut,
Allah
yeah.
Subhanahu wa Ta'ala clearly states to us.
Okay, so
Taghut is man-made laws. Well, man-made laws is part of Taghut.
but in the United Kingdom, that shouldn't really be a problem because we're in a minority and we are living by others.
Your Lord is the Lord of the universe, brother. It doesn't matter where you live.
I understand that, but if
Your Lord is the Lord of the universe.
if you're in the minority and you have to respect, you have to.
Within this island. We're doing a complete disservice to the people within the island. In fact, not just them, the whole of humanity we've done a disservice. All 8 billion of us are in humiliation.
I understand that, but that's we leave the rest of the people. We can only talk about the couple of million that are living in the UK. So the couple of million that are living in the UK Muslims.
That's the issue. You see, like that's the psychology we have to break out of. We think that if we really want to be on La ilaha illallah, then everybody, whether they believe or don't believe.
Yeah, the oneness of God.
I think one of the questions we come back to. One of the questions you're going to ask is the next generation have got to connect to the Quran and the Sunnah. The Quran and the Sunnah is effectively what led to the 4 Khalifas, the rightly guided Khalifa Rashidun. And what did they do? Umar ibn Khattab conquered the entire globe, right? And Uthman radiallahu anh maintained it, and Ali radiallahu anh maintained it, and then shamefully it was ended by A'udhu Billah, it was the greatest sacrifice was given by Hussein radiallahu anh. So we have to pick up the baton again, and we know this cycle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this the whole example of what happened with the Khalifa Rashidin and what happened Hussein radiallahu anh is the example of the cycle. It's going to happen. We come back up again, we maintain, we go back down, we got to come back up again. It's the way that Allah's system is created, and we can understand that through the Quran, through the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the examples of the Nabis that came before. That's what happened. Some of them took the message, some of them didn't. Right? And there was that continuous cycle of accepting and not. And it comes back to who we are. And that question I asked you, do you know the covenant? And the covenant that you and me made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That covenant was that we're going to uphold Allah's deen, the law. Right? So because our definitions are screwed, if I say to you deen, most people are going to say madhab, religion. It's not. It's the law. It's Allah's law, right? Like you have the laws of physics that is currently always changing. The parameters are changing. The law of the Creator is the one who created the universe.
So how are you going to implement this? Are you just giving advice, or are you giving guidance, or are you trying to implement this in the United Kingdom?
I'm not giving any guidance. I'm just conveying the good message.
Yeah, that's it. We're conveying the good message. So in other words, it's kind of advice and guidance, but you're not telling anybody to implement the United Kingdom.
Children that are growing up now, the children that are coming up now, they have to have the connection with the Quran and Sunnah like we never did. Our elders never did. They have to have that connection with the Quran in such a way that they can open up concepts that we've never imagined. The concept, like what we're seeing now with this technology, is limited. It's not. What the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained to us in the Quran, we're not even touching the tip.
So the wood sub, so basically I'm just trying to understand, so secularism, communist, capitalist, people who have kings and that kind of stuff, are they all committing shirk?
Ooh.
The people of those lands who are happy with democracy, the secularism.
I'd allow you to derive. What do you feel? What do you think when how does that concept? I mean, my concept is pretty clear. I mean,
I understand that, but so basically you're saying, are they committing shirk or not? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We're committing shirk. We're not doing anything. That's what we need to change.
So people who believe in democracy are committing shirk.
What did they? Democracy is a competition.
So the reason I'm asking you that is, so obviously going by what you said earlier, so basically most of the people around the world are committing shirk, Muslims.
Yeah, can I answer that?
Yeah.
You go for it.
Okay.
So the issue is right. I'm going to obviously briefly explain a bit of history for you. Yeah. So the issue is to do with Aqidah.
Right.
The Aqidah, what do they say? The Aqidah is what preceded life, what will come after your life, and what is the relationship that you have with this life. What relationship does the purpose? Sorry?
Okay, I'll answer. Okay.
Okay.
Brother Amr, there's 3 questions that we're given in the grave. The first one is,
Who is your
Ma
Lord?
Rabbuka? Who's your Lord? The second one is, Ma Dinuka? I explained to you what deen is the law, Allah's law. And who will we be standing? Everybody is going to stand in front of these 2 people, or these 2 entities called Munkar and Nakir. And then we're going to have to try to square, literally, hold on, the answer is obviously, Ya Allah, the law of Allah Azza wa Jal, but I was following, I don't know, Boris Johnson's law, I don't know, law of the land, right? So, this is what we have to, you have to come to terms with the severity of the condition we're in. And we can change it, we can. And remember, this is what, going back to the Seerah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the examples are there. It's not just, the elders haven't tapped out, they're still alive, they can contribute. That's the example is through who? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he was really old age and he was the first Khalif. And then you got the likes of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, the middle age. Then you got Ali radiallahu anhu, who was the youth. So we have this, we have the beautiful examples of all of us coming together, contributing to this paradigm shift that needs to happen.
Thank you. I really appreciate.
Too high. I mean, when's the last time you went to the Jummah and you had someone that say, "Look, the stakes are too high, man. In a case of you missing Salah, your Salah is going to be thrown out the way." That's what it is. Your Salah is going to save you. It's going to be what law did you do? How did you perform? What did you do? What actions did you take to change it? You know, and we know the 3. Hate it in your heart, which is the worst. Change it with your hand, which is better. And then change it with your hand is the best. Or hate it, or change it with your speech. Or compel it with your speech, right? Which is the middle. And we all know the best one is with your hand. We have to, you know, for you and me sitting in the UK, our mission isn't to upsurge. We just have to become thought leaders. That's it. Thought leaders. We have to make sure our next generation are cultivated to become those thought leaders, psychologically superior through the Quran and the Sunnah. Yeah, that's it. The people who are ruling the world today, their mission is to go and explore the universe, right? And they just want to go to Mars. Ours is the whole universe, like the whole earth, right? We want to be able to go from one here to Canis Majoris. Yeah? Majarra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Majarra, how he flooded the people of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, Canis Majoris. So imagine telling your child, look man, how did that happen? I mean, just ask a question, they'll be like, wow, Abuji, it's a good point. Yeah, let's explore it, let's find it. You know what I mean? Instead, no, we want to get involved with petty, I don't know, family issues and is democracy haram halal? No, I don't care. But that's the question. We leave that to the philosophers. Let's work on the physics. I'm not writing up the philosophers. Philosophers, we need you. We are part of the game. That's when we stand in the salah together, right? But we need those in physics as well, and the political scientists. We need the capital, the guys who understand how to gain the capital. So, but first and foremost, we need moral capital. Understand, calling a spade. What is haram is haram, right? And then move forward. I mean, it's part of the whole, you know, sorry, go for it.
So, are there any role models that we should be following around the world or in the UK?
Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I know it's a cliche, but bear with me. Pick up any seerah. I'm not even going to tell you go for this one or that one or this one. Any seerah. Pick up any seerah. It will honestly reframe your mind. It will reframe the mind of your children. I promise you. I mean, sometimes I get frustrated when I go to the Jummah and the way they talk, and I'm like, man, if I say something, I'll be a troublemaker. But you know what I mean? Well, I guess I'm going to have to be, because the stakes are far too high. They're too high, and we can change it. It can happen. I mean, with Brother Jabbar here, we have there is this backwards and forwards, and we have in this where the ulama need to step up. Their job isn't doing nikah, what's it called, salah, and what's the other one, janazah. That's our job. Amir, that's you and me. We got to do that. That's us. You know, when some of our closest family pass away, my mom doesn't have that connection. We have that. We know what we lost. We know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took from us. So our dua is going to be the strong one, and the dua we can manifest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the system. We have to understand it, and it goes back to Surah Al-Jumu'ah.
So
عليهم آيات ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب. So that's the law, deriving the law, والحكمة, and wisdom, deriving the wisdom from the past and understanding where we're going to go into the future.
So there are no current role models in the world.
You won't find anyone better.
I understand that.
I
understand that.
Anyone better than the Sahaba is alayhin. I promise you, man.
That's why I'm asking you
because
about the Quran.
Anyone who's worth their weight today is going to be driving from them. Anyone who's worth their weight today, they're going to be following them. And I understand it's a cliche, but picture this: these guys took over overnight. Like, think about this for a second. Today, the biggest powers are what? The US and the NATO and blah blah. Imagine Umar ibn Khattab did that. He did that. Persian Empire was 3,000 years old. Right? The Roman Empire was 2,000 years old. And he went for both of them. And Heracles became Muslim. Right? So the role models that we should be following are them.
So but if somebody was
Ali was able to explain the cosmos, which means that he was a cosmologist of the time, that means that's where we need to get to. That's when we have our own NASA. NASA, you know NASA? We have our own. We have the Muslim space program.
Okay, no, I think there's the scientific books with Islamic. Basically, we've seen that, you know, were, shall we say, professed 1400 years ago, and looking at it now, people are still amazed. And there's astrology, cosmology.
Get out of the amazement, Amr. We need to get out of the amazement and now find new things to amaze.
So what I need to know is there any current role models that you follow?
Who I follow? I'll be honest with you, but I cannot find anyone as more beautiful as Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I cannot find anyone more courageous as Ali radiallahu anh, and I cannot find anyone more.
Because I need to bring it back to UK. That's why I need to. Are there examples like in the world, in the East? Are there any examples that we should be saying, "Wow, they're doing a good job"? What's up?
Wow.
Yeah, so
good job in UK.
can I just yeah, so inshallah talking. Sorry.
Sorry, go for that. I'll say he's asking for role model. I'll give you mashallah, tabarakallah. Good, he's providing a good message.
Yeah, so
a good fight.
Thank you for your compliment. So if you're looking for scientific role models, you've got Dr. Wakil Khan of Pakistan, who developed the nuclear bomb. And
but the question was it living or gone?
Sorry?
What was the question?
I'm just talking about one individual now that was and did something.
I think the Woodside is right in the sense that he's not current.
Yeah, okay. So currently, if
no, but yeah, Qadir Khan is amazing. Absolutely. And Allah give him his position.
I think the only issue I might have is nuclear weapons. Are they okay to have?
Absolutely. Nuclear weapons is old school. What the Muslims should be discovering is something completely unfathomable. We're talking about traveling from one end to the other of the globe in a blink of an eye. That's possible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the clues in the Quran. Now we have to rediscover Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power. Right?
Yeah, so there is
nuclear is nothing, man. It's old hack.
Yeah, so some of the new ideas that are coming about, I don't know if you brothers are aware, but they're looking at infrared from the sun, the heat go onto the earth, and you will have electricity. You will have
There
gas.
you go.
So this-
action is one. Again, that's amazing. That's very again, it's touching the tip of the iceberg. But I guess what you really want is you want to be able to rediscover capturing a star, and a star that can provide energy for million years. I don't know what the.
I think you talk about there's going to be loads of energy from the
Absolutely, that's the thing that we're going to rediscover through the Quran. Our children are going to rediscover through the Quran.
and
The laws of thermodynamics are going to be progressing through the Quran. We're going to expand on that. Our next generation of researchers, Muslim researchers, are going to rediscover this. They rediscover this, then guess what happens, brother? Amr, we become the default position of Allah's deen. Because without, whether the oppressed is in Salvador or in Kashmir, we are accountable. We will. The children that are gone will, when we stand before our Lord, when we when we want to try to cross the Sirat, those 5-year-old hands will become the heaviest hands because they called for the end of their oppression and we didn't answer. Obviously, the Muslim army has got a bigger. They'll have a much far worse, but we will have our share.
So I need to bring it back to UK. So basically, do we need to, like, for example, learn from the Jews with lobby groups, or do we need to learn from others in terms of being battle ready, or what is it? If the
lobby groups, man, absolutely. We should have had a lobby ages ago, man. What we've been doing for the last 40-50 years, we have all these mosques that have done nothing other than I don't know what have they done? Nothing other than get people's.
But I think,
Subhanallah. Okay, explain this. In the UK, this is just charity. 2.5 billion every year. Just charity. Now, if this is the power of the ulama, this is why I have this. It heads me. The ulama could bring a fatwa. I want to name a name, but I'll give him some because I know a sheikh. Because people are using his fatwa. If that sheikh tomorrow said my existing fatwa is null and void, meaning no charity in the UK can take any zakat money and any sadaqah money. Yeah. And then he said, well, if you want to, then it has to be one single lobby, one body. 2.5. Imagine what 2.5 billion could do. And that's just charity zakat, by the way. That's not even accounting all the other money that these buildings get from money. That's just the charity. What could 2.5 billion do? 2.5 billion could mean, just in the UK, not a single Muslim has a mortgage. 2.5 billion could mean, just in the UK, the Muslim has one of the biggest contenders in lobbying the government to stop the genocide in Gaza. That's what 2.5 billion can do, right? It'll have shockwaves. Just that one fatwa, right? And it could change it could shift the paradigm, right? Subhanallah. That's just from the UK. Obviously, I got some ideas from Pakistan as well. What the ulama could be doing there, because they obviously have the physical might as well. But from us lobbying, like you said, you hit the nail on the head, brother Amir. Lobby, and we can do it. And this is something that we could probably do tomorrow.